morning, everyone. Thank you very much for coming. We're not starting right now, but what we could start is free beers. So, guys, girls, everyone, please have a drink, have a beer. It's on the house, obviously, and we're gonna fix the projector problem very, very quickly. So, if you're thirsty, it's time to get your drinks, guys. hurry up. Please go out for the next area. Hurry up. Up.
C'est qui manque Charles. Il est jamais revenu, Charles.
Penny! You, me. A lot of people are waiting on the video stream, so please hurry up. We'll bring you some beers while the so perhaps maybe 2 or 3 beers. We'll bring beers and drinks to you guys. There's wine. Drink wine.
Welcome everyone, welcome ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, there's more gentlemen like always than ladies, but thank you for all the women who made it. We're gonna start very shortly. If the men are enough for their beers. Okay guys, so let's start. So the purpose, as you know, for most meetups here is to talk about blockchain, crypto assets, and sometimes to talk about this company, which is quite awesome, by the way. I don't know if you met these guys; they're really, really cool people. And the purpose today, as I said, is to really dig into crypto assets, to try to know you a bit more, to build up the community, and as well to the people online as well that are checking us out, to participate and see how we built our ICO and how it was successful driven, what was the mission of our ICO, and what's the future of SwissBorg. And to make this quite interactive, what we're going to probably do will be really great, is that you're going to join us at slido.com. So anyone, you can take your mobiles, Joe, go for it, just go on slido.com. And then enter P498. For all the YouTubers and Facebook guys, please do the same. So this framework is really good for you guys for any Q&A. Any question that you guys have could go into that. The end of the session will go through a lot of different Q&As. So please ask any type of question that could go through that. We'll be monitoring it as well on the side, and different pollings. Different questions that you'll be answering as well, so it could be great. There's a question that's really good. Please upload it like that. We'll make sure that we'll be answering to the questions that you guys all have. Okay? A poll, I think so, within Slido. So if you guys looked at it, can we have a quick check on it? And know, guys, which is really good, is that session we'll be giving out tokens. So please answer all the questions. 100 tokens, 100 CHSB tokens per answer. So let's start by the first one.
How much have you raised? Anyone? 50 to sir, that's it. You'll get 100 tokens. Please remind me after. So we're going to start about a quick presentation about blockchain, and this is going to be done by Daniel, which is our head of LATAM.
Yes, hi guys. Daniel, thanks for being here tonight. I'm not going to be too long, so I'm just going to say what the definition of blockchain is online, anyway. Essentially, blockchain is a open distributed ledger that records transactions between two parties in a veritable, immutable way. But anyway, that's what the internet says. All you need to know, this is the next biggest thing in your lives, in our lives, it's changing our lives, and that's why you're all here tonight. So that's all I've got to say. Enjoy. Choose any.
Hi guys, my name is Johnny Zay, and today I'm going to talk about the market opportunity. So because we are at the beginning of this year, I will refer to the last year's statistics and graphics. So the market cap in 1st January 2017 was $8 billion, and right now it's over 700 billion. So there's definitely a big growing process that's happening, and the mass adaptation is there, but the adaptation as of now is the same as the internet adaptation in 1996. So there's still room to grow. This is a very, let's say, rewarding market for early contributors, and I believe that's the reason we are here, because we want to be at the forefront of the development and evolvement of this technology. So what I would like to tell you is that the average returns from the ICOs last year was 1,320%. And for the Bitcoin, I believe it's around 700%. So On the other side, if you are the traditional investor, your portfolio manager would offer you to invest 50% bonds and 50% stocks. So if you would done that in the last 4 years, you would have made 5.5% return on investment. But if you would have done 49% bonds and 49% stocks and only 2% of your wealth to Bitcoin, you would have done 12.5% return on investment in the last 4 years. And this is taking into consideration that 2014 was the worst year for Bitcoin, surged up to 90%. So we're not good numbers, but the average. So the question is not how to invest and where to invest safely, and this is what we do. So we are here to revolutionize the wealth management, crypto wealth management, applying blockchain's technology and philosophy by our community-centric approach with a meritocratic system where community applying swarm intelligence will decide the best interest of the project and obviously grow. So if we can...
Quick question, another one for 100 C. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? What was the price of CHSB token? Who said that?
I didn't get mine that easy. So if you could switch to the next slide. Yeah, so the crypto assets. Crypto assets is the general name, but the public uses cryptocurrencies, which is actually the wrong term, because in this category falls the tokens, the coins, and the protocols. So the protocols are the softwares that govern the rules, does the operations, and allow the communication between the network nodes. Then there comes the coins, the ones that are used as a digital currency for payments, such as Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ripple. And then there are tokens, which fall into two categories, utility and the security. So the utility tokens are the ones that are used within the ecosystem or inside of a decentralized application. For example, the Ethereum's Ether, which is used to create smart contracts on Ethereum blockchain. And for the security tokens, it's when the token represents the share of the ownership of any asset, or it's backed by something. But right now, the implementation of the security is really low. So there's a smart chain protocol that's on the line, and that's the future. But as of now, it's all about the utility tokens. So I'd like to give the microphone
Just before that, let's go for another crazy question, because I feel that the vibe here, people are still a little bit sleepy. So there's a lot of different protocols, and you know probably a lot of them. Which is one of the best protocol that is not on the slide? Ethereum's on it. Cardano, 100 CHSB tokens. Well done, dude.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jeremy. I'm going to talk about a bit of the ICOs here. As you know, we went both to one, and the start of the year was pretty good for ICOs as we raised 50 million Swiss francs. If we take a little step back, we see that in 2017, ICOs were up 3.7 billion, and in 2016, it was only 100 million. The average per ICO was 2 million in 2016, was 15 million in 2017, and we think it's going to grow even more in 2018 and 2019 in this space. Just a few facts here. The first ever ICO that was done, this was Mastercoin, and they raised 500K, was 5,000 Bitcoins, so if you can imagine what it represents today. The most profitable is NXT. They raised only 6K, but it's worth, the market cap at today is 300 million, and the most tragic one, the need to take also the bad cases in the comparison is the DAO that raised 150, but unfortunately got hacked and lost 60 million in the process and never recovered from it. Two last facts. The most rapid one was Brave, raised 35 million in 30 seconds. And the largest one is EOS, and it's still ongoing. They raised end of October 2017, 700 million, and it's ongoing until June 2018.
If you guys understood what SwissBorg, does someone give me a clear definition of what we do? Anyone? Some buzzwords? Just throw it out. How people invest. What else? Sorry, investment what? Investment, arbitrage, strategies. That's a good one, brother. What else? Exchange platform. And something else. Wow. Sir. So yeah, we're doing SwissBorg. We're really reinventing wealth management accessible for everyone and made it technology, so thanks to tokenization, but as well thanks to its philosophy, building on a meritocratic system, where actually the community has the power to take the right decisions for what's going to be going on further. And right now, as we're talking, we'll be setting up different investment strategies and funds as it is. We'll be bringing a platform for retail investors. We'll be bringing afterwards payment solutions and a digital exchange. And that will be done out of Switzerland, obviously, Japan, where we're based, the Tokyo team already over there. And we have as well a Toronto team that actually Marco is heading, that we are being there. And obviously, going forward, we'll be more and more decentralized. And our will is to obviously be in the main spots where we could get the best attributes out of it. If you go to the next slide. How's the pointer? So when is it all started? Where did it all start? Does someone recognize where this is? 100 CHSB tokens. Bangkok. That's it. Weird picture for that, right? Bangkok on the same time. Yes, so Anthony, myself, good friends for a long time. Back then, he was working for a robo-advisor firm. Myself, I was probably out of a job, yeah. I was out of a job, and I was working for hedge funds before, and I wanted to travel the world a bit. And we realized that something was not happening, and something was weird, is that we grew up in a generation where, thanks to technology, we could get pretty much everything. If you guys remember back then when the first digital exchange, you guys remember the first peer-to-peer digital exchange or not? I heard Napster, yeah, so that was right. Napster was the first place where people were able to exchange files, nevertheless, who on this trusted network, nevertheless, if you knew the person or not. And we thought about that back then. It was like, oh, this is very, very good. But so far, no one has really done that in the financial world. And more importantly, being based on robo-advisor firms and working for different algo trading firms, we really thought about combining technology to optimize portfolio management, but putting that on a trusted network would make 100% sense. So this is where really it started in Bangkok, a little bit after we were working different for robo-advisor firms. And in 2017, we said, okay, let's stop this with Marco and as well with Anthony. He said, let's really unite our forces. Let's combine all this great investment experience that we have, social media as well, and put it into this great platform that will be called SwissBorg. And how we'll be doing that is being powered by blockchain's technology, but through smart contracts, and obviously through its community-driven platform. With that, I'd like to introduce one of my best friends, if not the best, and as well my partner, Anthony. Oh, it's my turn. Yeah. It's still my turn. Sorry about that. So you got this spinning image. So yeah, this pretty much the different road trip that we went through from 2015, 2018. We just talked about it. Now we're very happy to say we're 15 people working at SwissBorg full-time. Out of the 3 offices you said, only 1 girl. So if you want a job, girls, this is the great opportunity for you to join us. We'll be very happy to make this happen. And Christoph, please don't take the computer. So yeah, we're looking for more people, especially for the Zurich office and most probably for the office here. So without further ado, sorry. Anthony, this is yours.
Okay, so as you see, after the wonderful brainstorming in Bangkok, then we decide that it was the time for financial services to invent themselves toward a much more community-centric approach. And the thing is, we come from this robo-advisory world where when you build a robo-advisor, actually you still heavily linked to the traditional financial services because you need the traditional investment backbone to operate. Every transaction that you can do, every investment, go through the very traditional investment portal. And when we look at the blockchain first, it was not such, of course the Bitcoin was already at a very high price, but we don't look at the blockchain and cryptocurrency as an asset classes, but as really a technology that could entirely disrupt the financial services. So when we decide to go for an ICO, the first thing that we have to do, and this is a topic that I've been discussed with Daniel before, the philosophy of blockchain first is to create a community behind your project. So basically, you can't do a project without a community. You go hand to hand with your community. So when we talk about marketing, in our case, it was much more about building a community behind the project. So marketing is not really a word that we like, but we like the word unite our own community. So it starts with unite our own community. The second question that's come is, most of the time, and this is a topic that is discussed a lot, is marketing a science, or is that something more creative, like being an artist? Actually, from the experience that we have, and I think Stefano, you can help on that topic as well. So Stefano, I've been working with us on the marketing side, helping a lot. Actually, you need to be creative when you put in place a marketing strategy, but at the same time, to make sure that your strategy and your creativity is efficient enough, and you deliver the message as you wish it will be delivered, you need to measure it. And to do so, you have to put in place very quantitative protocol. So marketing is really this combination between being enough creative, use different channels, but as well have this ability to measure your result.
Yeah, so one of the best things we did in our marketing was building our community first. So immediately we could ask the community, like we used pollings, or we would simply ask them, and this helped us shape our message and shape our features as well. Apart from this, we also did a lot of really successful traffic acquisitions, so we obviously paid for the traffic to come in. And this at the beginning is very much like shooting with a shotgun, so you are acquiring traffic everywhere, but then looking at the data, we can see exactly which traffic is converting. And that got really from a shotgun to one of those snipers, so we got really effective marketing with really great return on the ad spend.
Yeah. And the last thing is, when you do marketing with your ICO, you have to keep in mind that it's not only selling a product one time. It's really having people that could help you to better shape your own protocol. And this is exactly the way we communicate from the beginning. Is really what we want, not only is people that buy the token, but people that could understand and really allow the community to grow and the network, to enhance the network as it will grow in the future. So that was a very important job, and this is what we do. Okay, Marco.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Marco. So I can give you some few stats about our ICO. Basically, when you do an ICO, as many of you will know, you can either use an existing platform or you can build your own. In our case, we chose to build our own platform to customize it to our needs, to be able to control the flow, to have a highest level possible of security, because there have been a lot of hacks and risks in some ICOs. And at the same time, we received a lot of data on how users were behaving, how they were using the site, and that allowed us to improve our marketing as the ICO was progressing. Which is also part of the reason why you see this chart, which starts strong when we launch the ICO. Then you can see that the increase is slow at first, but as we improved the marketing and listened more to the community and got more feedback, towards the end of the ICO, the growth was really exponential, pretty much. As many of you now know, we raised a total of 50 million Swiss francs. We had 68,000 registered users and about 30,000 deposits in total. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So next, I would like to talk to you a bit about how, in simple terms, how will the service, the ultimate service solution that we want to offer, how will it work? So first, customers will come to our site, they will register, we'll do a basic KYC to understand where they're from, what their needs are. We will ask them some questions to create a very customized profile of them, based from very simple things that typical robo-advisors ask, like age, expectations, and risk profile, to more customized questions using AI, basically to have a really very custom profile for each client. Then once we have built a client risk profile for each, we will build a ideal portfolio for this person that will evolve over time. And finally, they will be able to see this in a custom built dashboard for that user, where they can control their positions, their returns, their exposure, and adjust the risk parameters or their profile over time if that changes. And then next, I'll pass it to Max.
Hello everybody, I'm the CIO of SwissBorg. So what did we do with the tokens we received so far? We received it so last week, so it's around 40 million in cryptos and around 10 million in fiat currencies, so in Swiss franc and dollars and euros. And as you might have seen today, market collapsed today. It's down around 15 to 20%. So we actually thought about this case, and what we did is we hedged. We hedged last week around 30 to 35% of our exposures in Bitcoin, in Ethereum, in Litecoin, in Bitcoin Cash, and in Ripple. So the 5 currencies we received. And we over-hedged also the Bitcoin, because we hedge with futures. And with futures, since everybody is long, you capture some extra yield, because the future trades as a premium. It's offer and demand, and since they can, investors can have more leverage with futures, they tend to be long Bitcoin futures. So they trade at a premium. And right now, what we have done is we captured around a 7% premium on the 3 months contract. And since it collapsed today, the 7% became 3% discount. And we overhedged not 30%, but 70% in Bitcoin. And we did receive on top of that the 10% differential. So we lift half of the hedge just now, 1 hour ago. So we are now hedged by at 30%, which means that the 50 million is still a bit down, but I would say we limited our losses by 3/4. So we should be down as a market, right? So we should be down, I don't know, if we receive 40 million and the market is down 15 to 20 million, we should be down around 33, 34 million in cryptos, I mean, in notional values. And we're still around 38, 39 out of the 40. So we limited our losses. And now our exposure is around 30% hedged. So if it goes back, it's like we go back up with a 30 to 40% exposure, the differential between 70 and 30. So you can follow that, of course, but so we do hope it goes back, of course, because a hedge is always frustrating, right? I mean, if it goes up, you see your hedge losing money, so you're frustrated, and if it goes down, of course, you're frustrated also because overall you lose money. But we think that it's the right strategy because it covers your base effect. Your base effect is that when markets are down, for example, 67%, two-thirds, and it happens once a year, so once or twice a year, so it's not far-fetched to think about this. If it goes down 67%, you have to go back up 300%. But if your hedge, for example, 30%, then you're down 33%, and you have to go back up 50% instead of going back 200%. So the what kills you, and that's why we hedge, and that's why we try to compound interest like this and compound returns like this, because it's really when you're down that it's really a big trouble. Even in an Armageddon type of scenario, like you're down 90%, let's say, and you're not hedged, well, you have to multiply by 10, right? Because you only have 10% of your national net asset value left. But if you're hedged 30% only, for example, then you have around 40% left. And 40% left, you can come back. When somebody who is not hedged will never come back. And as Warren Buffett says, it's when the tide goes down that we see who's being swimming naked. And that's what we try to avoid. So we try to swim well with a swimsuit.
Thank you so much. So if someone understood very well and is able to take the mic, I will give him personally 1,000 tokens. Anyone? No, anyone? You want to try or not?
So the market went down, there was a little crash, and since you have a lot of fortune in cryptocurrencies, you cannot afford yourselves to lose all that money that you have been founding. So what you do is you buy futures in order to hedge your cryptocurrencies, which is a good thing, because if you don't hedge your cryptocurrencies and the market falls really bad, then it's super, super, super hard to recover all those cryptocurrencies, because you can lose 70%, but then you have to do 300% if you want to get back the 70% of loss. So, as Warren Buffett said, if you go swim, you don't go naked.
What is your job?
I don't have a job yet, but I'm a woman, and might be interesting.
That's good.
I'll definitely give you the tokens. Okay, awesome. The last slide is about our token, and we'll introduce our CEO, Christophe Viseron. He's going to talk about it.
So, hi everyone. So I'm going to talk about something that has also value. What is the biggest value of a network? That's a good one. But I will go for community. Look around here. That's the biggest value. And what is even more valuable than a community? An active community. Because that was close, but I would say an active community, because look, if you have everybody voting using your product, you will grow your network and go even higher. And we have taken that into consideration when building our token. That is why we have included this special feature in our token to make your voice heard, which is called the RSB token. Whenever we will do a referendum, you will receive one RSB token for one CHB token that you hold. With this token, you will be able to vote on the project that you like, give your opinion, and be rewarded for it. That's what matters about SwissBorg.
And here we are.
So yeah, now we're gonna go. There's already a lot of questions that will be answered on. Asked on the Slido. So we're directly gonna go on the Slido. But maybe there's one or two questions someone want to ask like that time we prepare it. Just raise your hand. Any questions?
I just have a question regarding the main difference between SwissBorg and economy.
Choose a guy to answer the one. Anyone should be able to answer this one. Pick Anthony.
Okay, should I answer this one? Yeah. Okay, so the main difference between economy and what we do, first of all, when you look at economy, it's just a platform that gathers different strategies. What we aim to do on the long term is, on top of simple investment strategies, to provide a layer of advisory. For doing so, we talk about a concept that is called a smart mandate. It's still something that is in terms of achievement, it is research and development, because you need to involve legally binding smart contract, and this is actually kind of topic that I think will emerge this year, but it's not yet ready. There is still things to do because this is where you linked these very virtual smart contract things with reality. And somehow this is the full tokenization. So what we aim to do at SwissBorg is really to tokenize what you can find in any investment company right now. So you walk in, you have no clue about finance, and you speak with someone that know the traditional words of, say, oh, I'm a single guy, I work for this company, and in 30 years from now, I want to get retired. And from these needs, it could somehow do the translation into financial languages, which is at the end the portfolio. When you go to economy, if you have no clue about investing, there is nothing that you can do. There is all this graph, these different investment strategy, this different product. What we aim to do at SwissBorg is really to provide this layer advisory, which we believe is the key of global adoption for cryptocurrency or even investment product. The other aspect as well is really from the way the token is built. I'm not a specialist in economy tokens, so, but the way I speak for our token is really the way the platform will evolve with time is really belong to you, the community. So you will vote at different referendums that will decide the technical decision and in which direction the platform will evolve. So at the end, in few years from now, the aim of the SwissBorg network is not that it belongs to us, but it really belongs to the community to decide in which direction we should choose. So in that sense, we are much more a network or a protocol rather than just a DApp. And we really try to integrate into the network a proof of something. And this is something that we have called proof of meritocracy, which is how we can source the intelligence, the global intelligence of our community to make our network a better network. And this is not a future that you can see in our economy. Yeah.
Okay, so over 212 people participated in the poll, and 69% of people actually have CHSB token holders. So I don't know if you all participated or if it's online or it's a mix of both. But thank you guys. It's really cool to have all these people within our community. Let's go to questions right now. How do we do that? There you go. So the main question that was liked 23 times, where do you see SwissBorg in 1-5 years? Someone want to answer that one, or should I take it? Okay, I'll take it. So, as you know, we just graduated. We graduated with $50 million, which is great, or Swiss francs. So it's a really good thing to graduate with that. But that's only the beginning for us. I mean, everyone thinks ICO is done and then it's party time. Unfortunately, no. It's really there when you get your community, you get over 30,000 people that would have trusted you, and now we have to deliver. So what are we going to deliver? You heard about that on when I said it shortly before. The fact that we'll be bringing holistic wealth management solutions to you guys. And the big battles and the challenge that we'll be facing going forward is license, making sure that we are clear with the market authorities, such as the FINMA, such as well with the FCA in Japan, such as well with other different market regulators like ESMA in Europe. And the game here is to apply to all the different license that enable us to distribute our products in the best manner in terms of investment management, payments, and as well digital currency exchange as well. So the main factors is the first year. Right now we'll be recruiting some people, so especially on the tech team. We'll be recruiting people as well for the Zurich team, and we will be going forward for these different licenses to be able that we could distribute all our different products, and you'll be able to take part of it. So those are the first year, and then within the next few years, we'll be adding different asset classes and really bringing in what a bank could do for you. We'll be doing it through smart contracts. So really optimizing all the relationships that you have through different ledgers and through smart contracts. So that's what we're doing. What's the question number? Is there any questions from that question? Anyone? Be a woman, be a man. No one. Cool. How do you see the future of Bitcoin? Denny? Denny? Denny has balls.
Okay, so I'm not going to speak for everyone, and this is my personal opinion. The way I see Bitcoin is that, yes, it was the first cryptocurrency. It proved to be something that people support, love. There is like a huge community behind it. It's one of the biggest market cap coins out there. But I believe that Bitcoin failed as a payment measure and as a digital money because of the transaction times, high costs, and the low blocks. So what I think is that with the listing as an asset, for example, in Chicago Exchange, Bitcoin the volatility will drop. It won't be that crazy. It will go up, but long term, the volatility won't be that crazy. And at the end, it will be like the digital gold. So whenever people will want to secure their money or put something which is not depreciating, they will put the money to Bitcoin. And I see Bitcoin really as an asset. So that's it, because right now there are other coins, tokens, and different blockchains, protocols, which are more efficient and doing this job far better, faster, and cheaper. Yes, so that's the way I see Bitcoin. I'm not speaking for the whole team. This is my personal opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it failed, but yeah, it's just it's digital gold. It was a gift to the world. I think it cannot be recreated, something like Bitcoin, because it's completely anonymous. Yeah, so I think it's just a storage of value, essentially what Denny said, but I wouldn't say it failed. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so this is a question for another 100 CHSB tokens. What is HODL? Anyone? Okay, you got it over there. Can you give it to the guy with glasses and funky hair? Can you please have the speakers louder mic on them? I think so. That was for you, Marco. What kind of decision will be taken by the referendum?
There's going to be a lot of different decisions that's going to be taken by the referendums, but we will start with non-strategic decisions. We will ask the community what products or what country we would like to open, maybe. We have several leads. We haven't decided yet when and what will be the topic of the first referendum, but stay tuned. It will come very soon. That's for Christophe. where to enter my tokens in my tax in my tax form.
So this question is gonna be very tough, Christophe.
Thank you so much for the question. I appreciate. In Vaud, only in Vaud. That's a good question because unfortunately, our tax advisor is based in Geneva, so I have to pass it away. I'm sorry. So, as you might have seen, we work with one of the best fiscalists in Switzerland, Auberson, and we are, so far, they say that your crypto can be stored, you better declare them, but there is no real decision that the government has made how they will tax it. So, honestly, I cannot answer that because the government haven't decided yet. So the best way you can do is do like your friends do, put it on your declaration, hope nobody will notice them, hope you don't pay taxes, but at least when they do in 2 years, you will say, they were there. I'm not gonna be taxed backwards. I'm sorry I cannot do more, the government hasn't decided on more. But not for cryptos. Not for. But most likely they will be taxed on gain en capital gain, most likely. But as the thing has not been decided officially, I don't want to give a definite answer. Oh, you mean what we will do with them? Oh, so we have already got a ruling that we're not going to have any VAT taxes on the contribution, and right now we're in discussion with the different authority to discuss how they're going to be taxed, if it's going to be revenue, how we're going to be delayed it over the years, and which if we're going to be based in Geneva, what rate we're going to do. So we enter in discussion with the government to have the best possible solution. And for that, we are advised by the best.
Okay. Yes, shoot. So go for it.
Yeah.
Say again. So the first question is about arbitrage and how great is it then? Right. So the question is essentially about arbitrage and how do we like it and what's our future arbitrage and what type of pairs that we're looking at. So for that, you could check our media. I think so that we have a lot of different arbitrage trades. We have a lot of different trade examples that we bring in. It's not in the white paper because it changes all the time, and the white paper is not the purpose for it. But for this reason, our CIO is going to try to explain you in a very digital and easy way, and maybe someone will be able to explain it again and get 1,000 tokens.
Thank you for this. Well, arbitrage is when you can capture returns from different places. For example, you have a lot of exchanges that denominate assets, crypto assets, in dollars, some others in Bitcoins, and some others in Ethereum, for example. And all of these moves very quickly. Bitcoin moves very quickly, Ethereum also, and dollars less. And if it's your denominator, then all the crypto assets moves also. So you have, for example, I don't know, Ripple against Ethereum, Ripple against Bitcoin, and you can denominate all this in dollars. So you have Bitcoin moving a lot, Ripple moving a lot, and Ethereum moving a lot. So all of this, with this type of volatility, you can profit from that type of
arbitrage, meaning that if Bitcoins go down 20%, Ethereum goes up 8%, and your Ripple goes up, let's say 14%, it's very unlikely that the equal amount of Ripple against Bitcoin and also against Ethereum is the equal amount in dollars. So what you can do is profit from that, because with the big moves, you can certainly capture 2, 3, 4% by the time that everything stabilizes. So we do this. We go back and forth between different exchanges, for example. We go long and short with futures, but also with options. So we capture this type of arbitrage. A second arbitrage is more event-driven. For example, on the 1st of August, you had a fork. So you have a change of protocols that created the Bitcoin Cash. So each person who had a Bitcoin received the Bitcoin Cash, right? But some exchanges said, well, you have to physically hold Bitcoin to receive 1 Bitcoin Cash. And some other exchanges said, well, if you're leveraged long or if you're leveraged short, you also receive some Bitcoin Cash. So if you have some debt, basically, leverage is kind of a debt, then you still receive your Bitcoin Cash. So what you can do is to short where the exchange you don't have to pay the Bitcoin Cash, and you leverage long when you do receive it, and then you capture around 20 to 40 to 60% because of a change of rule in the different exchanges. So you can arbitrage this. Anyways, there's a lot of different opportunities because you have different rules per exchange. So if you do read the rules, you can capture this type of arbitrage. Does it answer your question? Or all right, about spreading, maybe. You want to answer?
There's other questions that we haven't answered so far. What was another one? Hire the woman who speak. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Can you please have the speakers? We did that. The Swiss banking license. Yeah, that's a good question. We're not going to hold your assets for the time being. What we're going to do is that we're going to create a robo-advisor that actually it will be trading within your wallet. So we won't be holding your assets. So actually we'll be a real fintech for that. And hopefully going forward, obviously the big idea, you know where we're going. So on the short run, you'll be holding it. Current markets suggest making investment in future crypto projects are more risky than ever. How would you convince? I mean, I don't know if it's more risky today than before. I mean, last year the market went up 35x, which is amazing. If you guys missed the train, well, that sucks. But there's still probably some move for improvement. The market is the big swings that we have like last year. We're probably going to have some this year as well. So it definitely is risky. But I think so. What Denny said earlier is that if someone had invested 49% in equities, 49% in bonds, if you had only 2% into Bitcoins out of the last 4 years, given the fact that in 2014, Bitcoin has lost over 90%, the worst year of Bitcoin, when Mongoose got hacked, was still had doubled his portfolio. So it's a great way for people to add first a booming factor, but it's uncorrelated to your portfolio as well. So we always advise people to get into crypto and to some extent, but we would never recommend anyone to have a huge exposure to crypto right now. Personally, obviously, I'm 99.9999% correlated to cryptos, but you should not all get into cryptos. Isn't proof of work a concept unsustainable due to the power? Who wants to talk about hash graph or to talk about Cardano and or proof of stake? Who wants to talk about it?
Okay, I take this
Anthony.
one. But I think it's a very simple question because we already see that, okay, proof of work most of the times belong to protocol that have been developed before or at the beginning of blockchain and cryptocurrency. What we see right now is more proof of stake. We see other proof as well. So we'll see how it evolves. Obviously, we know that proof of work is from energy point of view is really consuming. Then we don't know because maybe tomorrow the technology could reinvent different things and use, for example, water to produce energy or something else. So we'll see. My opinion is at this stage, it's still very difficult to know what are the limits of our proof. We know that proof of work works well, but at the same moment, you need to deploy a lot of energy and capacity of computation to make it work. So we'll see. It's still very experimental in a way, because blockchain technology is still a very young technology. When people refer to internet, we not usually the comparison stands in the 2000, things like this. So it's really young. And we have to observe, and once again, when we talk about investment, we're not really sure that the leaders of tomorrow are yet here. So it's still room to investigate, and maybe, if on your own decision, make an investment in blockchain technology. Okay, what's the next questions?
So maybe we're going to combine some questions together about the exchange, about volatility, about the bubble, and about what's happening right now in the markets. And it's our brilliant Marco is going to answer.
Thank you. So the questions I'm going to look at, why is it crashing now, and are we in a bubble, basically? Nobody knows is the answer, obviously, but I can give you my opinion, which is we are potentially going to be in a bubble. I don't think we are there yet. We are in some overvaluation. There are some extremes in the market, for sure. But the true potential of this technology is really, it will change. It won't be as transformational as the internet, but it will be transformational. And therefore, I do think that while there might be some hype in some areas, and we will see some corrections going forward, we're not, we haven't reached a full state of a bubble where everyone is really in. There's a lot of interest from people now, but not everyone is invested yet in cryptocurrencies. And once we see that, maybe we can start thinking that we are in a dangerous bubble situation. But until then, I just don't see that situation happening. I talk to a lot of people. Some are invested in cryptocurrencies, but many people are still just at the stage of asking questions. What is a blockchain? What is Bitcoin? Everyone's attracted by the price, but I don't think we're at the late stage yet.
Just one question before you.
Yes.
So I'm going to give 100 CHSB away. So one question is, what is the current market cap of Facebook? 30 billion? It's more. Yeah, it's,
right.
Yeah, it's something like this. Last time I checked, it was around 500 billion, sorry. So when you look at the global market cap of blockchain technology, it's almost the same than Facebook. So it's not a lot. So everything evolves. If this technology is so disruptive, we're still at a very, very young stage. And when you look at it, most of the market cap is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And all the other one are very still, it's marginal. And we're currently, there is almost 1,200 alternative coins, the way we call it. So other coins than Bitcoin. So it's still a very young market. The performance are huge, but from a market cap point of view, it's still low, in a sense.
There was a question about exchanges as well. When will, I can't see it there, but it was about when will the CHSB be listed on other exchanges like Poloniex and Bittrex, I think. We're going to start being listed on HitBTC, as you might know, starting on February 1st, and that's one of the top 12 exchanges that are out there, so that's pretty big. We also signed to be listed on Lifecoin, and probably in the next day or two, we will probably announce, or maybe 3, one more big exchange that will be listing the CHSB very soon. And the idea is to keep working on the other exchanges to list the CHSB in as many as possible, to make sure that we can grow the community, grow the liquidity of the CHSB, but at the same time more and more, the more people know about the CHSB, the more people will join the network and grow it bigger.
Let's ask the crowd last two questions from you guys. Anyone who dares for any question, go for it.
So, in one hand, we have Switzerland, like Switzerland and Japan, they promote cryptocurrencies, like they create hubs and everything. And the context is the legal frame. And the other hand, we have China and South Korea that kindly, they're trying to, I don't know, scare everybody and start a kind of crusade or not. So my question is, if you mentioned before that you were trying to be compliant with FINMA and everything, just to be in line with financial needs and compliance. And my question is, I'm a little bit embarrassed, but is how could you a little bit anticipate and compliant with this not well-framed world of legal and frame, like we have many powers that can be pro and contra crypto world. I don't know if I've been clear or not.
Grazie mille, signore. So yeah, that's a great question. That's why we're decentralized, and that's what Kik asked about it. Actually, Olga is going to talk about a new association we're creating. The thing is that every market and every jurisdictions already has proclaimed a bit where they want to see themselves. So, for example, in Japan, the reason why we're there as well, not because it's only one of the biggest crypto market, is that actually they already official the Bitcoin. It's a legit crypto. It's a legit currency over there. And as well with that, they have amended the fact that you could actually have a legitimate cryptocurrency exchange. So for the Japanese market, what are we going to do? A cryptocurrency exchange. For example, in France, they have proclaimed that for ICOs, it could make sense. So right now, we have good discussions with AMF, the regulators over there, the fact that they're willing to do some ICOs over there. So every jurisdiction that has already proclaimed something, we'll be like, okay, let's go for that one. And let's create a company over there, let's create a team over there, and establish something that makes sense. And that's what we're doing with Mass Market Authority of Singapore. They establish a way for example, how to set up funds. So be probably aware we already have a company, we already have a fund, and we can launch an ICO over there through that for institutional investors. So every jurisdiction, you have to go there and see what they already have claimed, what's the flavor over there, and how you could do that. Same for Hong Kong, same for all different markets. And the game and the winner is the one who's going to be the most agile and being able to get all the different licenses that do make sense. And if today you think you're going to sit in one country and say, we're going to have it all, it's not going to happen. So that's how we're really working with different jurisdictions and how we're establishing different companies and the purpose of these different companies. Last question. Is it a really good one or not? Is it better than this one or not? Okay.
No, so I have no clue about blockchain and cryptocurrency. I just came here to just... I think for me, it's a real question. For me, like I always hear this news recently, like the things are going really up, but then the government's making policies against that. And more governments are coming up because the values has increased a lot because they're worried about so many things. So what happens if the government goes against? And how do we save our assets if we have invested in that?
Okay, I can answer this question, or both of us, because it's the last question actually. First question is, how could government go against Bitcoin? Because it's not centralized. It's not like you're going to shut down a server or a database or anything like this. And we have seen in the past, for example, China go against the Bitcoin, then coming back and forth. And that's the main feature of Bitcoin, is you could not control it, in a sense. So it's very difficult for a government to go against Bitcoin. And especially if you think from a political point of view, if, for example, I don't know, France say, oh, we're going to ban blockchain technology, and then say, oh, we are pro-blockchain technology, then all this economics, profit for the country will go to another country, because it's so easy and is everywhere. So you can develop you're not tied to a special country when you do your own protocol with blockchain. So it's a technology that is very difficult to control, and that's why, in my opinion, it's so difficult for politicians and governments to go against. And from the different discussion that we have, for example, we engage in France. So we talk with different regulators and government entities. One of them in France, in Japan, in Switzerland. I would say they're not against it. They want to understand first, and they really want to shape prevent from abuse, but they see the potential of high potential in blockchain technology. So.
And on this note, actually, thank you for the fantastic question, because it goes perfectly with this. As you just understood, is that blockchain, I think so, going forward, is not going to be self-regulated 100%. It's always going to have to be harmonized within local authorities, with governments that I'll have to say yes or no about what's the guidance. And actually, at DOA, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization Association will take part of that, and will actually, hopefully, create a great network, and Olga is going to have a little talk about that. Warm welcome to Olga, please.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Olga. I'm head of marketing and community management at SwissBorg. We talk a lot about the community and the power and decentralization of it. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming in our online community as well. Guys thought about the way, actually a very hard way which we passed to reach what we have now. And as in any ICO, we're faced with a lot of issues. Most of them was in the legal field. At this stage, we decided to create a decentralized autonomous organization association, which will be created to support all the companies which want to create a business on blockchain, from the legal side, from the community point of view, as well as for marketing advertisements. Starting from the next week, the website will be active. It's doassociation.com, and any of you can opt in if you would like to support us or to become the association ambassador. As well as we are hiring to SwissBorg directly to the commercial organization. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. This every month, it's about you, so you have to communicate the different, projects, the different things you want to know about blockchain. It's the technology, it's the philosophy, it's the legal side. If you want to, meet great different DAOs, we'll be doing that every month, as most of you have been coming for a long time, and we do that as well in Geneva, Monaco, London, Seoul, Tokyo, and I probably forgot some destinations, but we try to do that worldwide. So thank you very much for everyone for participating. CHSB token holders, don't forget it. And for the winners, come to us, get your email. Thank you so much. We still have a lot of wine. Enjoy it and meet us. Okay, cool. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.